If you played games in the 90s, chances are you had a Game Boy and a copy of Pokemon Blue, Red, or Yellow, and it's even safer to assume that many of you nostalgic folk have been tempted to re-enter the fold with the recent explosive success of a certain Pokemon Go. And it's even safer to assume your school were right bastards and banned it. But there are things in the original games that you may not be aware of. Dark things. Twisted things. Not quite as twisted as that fan art of Doug Trio's body, but what on earth could possibly out-creepy that? I'm Ben from What Culture, and here are the top 10 Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow secret exploits and glitches you totally missed. No Game Shark required. Number 10. The Old Man and MISSINGNO. Oh come on, we had to put this one on here at some point, so let's just get it done and dusted first. It's the famous item duplication glitch that everyone and their mums exploited to make dough from selling nuggets, or to ensure the unflinching subjugation of the Poke universe with a stockpile of Master Balls. Simply allow the condescending Starbucks enthusiast in Viridian City to show you how to catch a bloody Weedle, then fly to Cinnabar Island, surf up and down on its right-hand coast, and you'll bump into a monstrosity of numbers and mixed-up Pokemon sprites called MISSINGNO. Taking it out will duplicate the 6th item in your inventory, and capturing it will probably ruin your save. Number 9. Different colour schemes. Chances are you found this one while you were messing around with your Game Boy Color as it started up. Holding down A or B and pressing a direction as soon as the Game Boy logo appears causes the colour palette to noticeably change, affecting the subsequent game played. And yeah, we know this isn't a quirk exclusive to Pokemon games, but many a wily player made use of one particular scheme to invert light and dark and navigate the godforsaken hellhole that was Rock Tunnel, without being asked to hunt about the place for the Flash HM. Number 8. Invisible PC in Celadon City. Here's a fun one. If you take a little wander down to the buildings at the bottom of Celadon City, you'll find one that is hauntingly similar in layout to a Pokemon Center. Guess what, kiddos? It's because the developers copied and pasted it. So amazing was this flawless bit of design that there's actually an invisible PC in the top right corner of the room in exactly the same spot it would be if you visited a real Pokemon Center. Excellent. Number 7. Pokemon duplication. The timeless favourite among Pokemon trainers this, for the discerning player who's sick of having a party full of Pidgeys, or a Porgy, and wants all of the starter Pokemon instead. But oh no, your so-called friend wants to keep their Charmander and for you to suffer on with a painfully plain Bulbasaur. Thankfully, if you're willing to cast a member of your Porgy into the abyss, you can tactically switch off the game during a trade so you both get that Charmander, and there's one fewer Pidgeys in the world. Number 6. Catch Safari Zone Pokemon with normal balls. Let's clear this up right away. Safari balls are terrible. They are, in every way, shitballs for whackers. #shitballs for whackers. So if there was some way to go about catching a Pinsir without having to use an inexplicable combination of rocks and bait first, you're going to want to know about it. Pay the extortionate entry fee for the Safari Zone and have a little gallop about in the grass. When you're done, fly straight to Cinnabar Island and surf in the MISSINGNO spot on the right coast, and hey presto, you'll encounter all the Pokemon from the last patch of grass you were in. Number 5. Walk through walls. Did your friends ever used to generate absolutely BS Pokemon rumors? My favourite was that the grass beyond the area boundaries contained really rare and powerful Pokemon. If only there was a way to check. Oh wait, there totally is. Firstly, ensure you have one Pokemon in your party and that they're poisoned. Head back to the daylight robber that is the Safari Zone clerk and dump another steaming 500 on his desk. Enter the park, then walk back into his hut, declining the offer to end your time early before going back into the park. Now save and restart the game. Loading back in and re-entering the hut, the dopey idiot will greet you like he's never seen you before. Tell him you don't want any of his crap Safari Balls and exit the hut at the bottom. Now here's the tricky part. Count the remaining steps of your initial pre-restart Safari Zone adventure and ensure the final step is you jumping over a wall. The stupid idiot clerk will call you back to his hut mid-jump. Finally, walk around the inside of his hut until your Pokemon faints, which will reset you to the nearest Pokemon Center, and you'll be allowed to walk over any wall you want. Oh, and by the way, if you try to leave the hut before your Pokemon faints, your game will freeze, so good. Number 4. Glitch City. The holy trinity of rubbish Safari Zone glitches isn't complete without Glitch City. If Pokemon Satan lived in a city, it would be this one. A horrifying mess of mixed up sprites, broken tiles and random numbers. A true hellscape. Want to visit? Of course you do! This glitch actually follows very similar guidelines to our previous points in that you'll need to begin a Safari Zone stint and try to leave before declining the confirmation message. Then save and restart, ignore the confusing advances of the attendant with short-term memory loss, leave the building, and wander around waiting out your remaining time in the Safari Zone. This time not bothering to ensure the last step is a jump over a wall. After you're called back to the hut, simply walk out the exit and you'll be greeted with this. Just look at it. And there's no escape. Unless you use fly or teleport. Number 3. Underflow EXP. Right, so I'm not going to go into huge depth on this, so blame anything you don't understand on integers and hexadecimal numbers. This beautiful little bug will allow you to level certain Pokemon to 100 before reaching Brock's Gym. Sound absurd? It is. First, go through Viridian Forest to Pewter City, avoiding a specific trainer. Treat yourself to an escape rope from the corner shop and head back to the forest. Locate the trainer you snuck past before and position yourself just off-screen from his line of sight. Have a cheeky save. Go on. Now here's a tricky bit for you. Press the start button as soon as you walk into his vision and use your escape rope. If you've done it right, the moron will realise just as you zip off into the sky. Bye-bye, idiot. Now you're not going to be able to use your start menu here as the game thinks you should be in a battle. So head into the grass at the south of Pewter and use a move that'll decrease the enemy Pokemon's attack 6 times, like Growl, and then kill it. Finally, head into Viridian Forest again, ignore the spooky message you get asking about your Pikachu, and catch whatever weird Pokemon you get into a battle with next. Then jump into the grass with that Pokemon at the top of your party, switch out to your Pikachu, and kill it. Boom! Level 100. There is a reason for this weirdness, and it's probably maths. Number 2. Get Mewtwo. You can't get Mew legitimately anymore. It used to be a competition prize in at special events, but with original 90s cartridges seeing their save batteries going flat, legit Mews have all but been eradicated, which is kinda tragic, really. Fortunately, we can keep the dream alive, as they still lurk in the game's code, and can be coaxed out by using a similar approach to the EXP Underflow glitch, but by avoiding a different trainer just beyond the Nugget Bridge. To start with, you want to fly away, instead of using the escape rope, from a battle with this strange old guy on Route 8 and head to Cerulean. Pop up and have a little fight with the guy you left alone earlier, then fly back to Lavender Town. Take one step into Route 8 and there you have it. A genuine, ill-gotten Mew, all of your very own. It's all to do with the maths, you see, something to do with the special stat of the Cerulean trainer's Pokemon translating to a hexadecimal value for Mew, or something. Number 1. ZZAZZ, aka the end of days. I've saved the most fun one for last. You know earlier on when I said that Glitch City is where Pokemon Satan would live? Yeah, well, prepare to meet Pokemon Satan. So how does one meet the devil, exactly? Well, you'll want a Pokemon with a specific special stat before instigating the walk in front of and fly away before they can see you step detailed previously. Then zoom off to a location where you can find a Ditto which will transform into your Pokemon special stat and all before you beat it. Then return to the location of the trainer you duped, and as before, you'll enter a battle, but with a trainer. The trainer will send out a Charizard. Look, you can't see my hands, but I'm doing air quotes. Neither of these things are natural. Look at its level, look at its health bar, look at its sprite. The only way to escape is to weirdly throw a Pokeball at the Pokemon, which ends the battle. Oh, but you're not done. The glitch has removed vital parts of the game's code. Just have a look at your player card and your name is now an enormous string of Zs. Your Pokemon are now level 153, share the Bulbasaur sprite, and only know the move Explosion. But what of Satan? Was that not him before? No. Get into a battle with any other trainer and they will become you. You have become Satan, and he has become you. Basically, it's all a huge mess, and if you save your game, it'll corrupt itself, which is spectacular. And that's our list. Are there any we missed off? Like the video and share in the comments below. You can even follow me on Twitter here if you fancy. I'm Ben from What Culture, and thanks for watching.